Namaste. Welcome and greetings. I am Magic Lacroix. It's gonna stop a virus. No. This
got y'all listening now. Some witchcraft for that ass. Too late to turn away. Abracadabra and all that good shit. Yo. Hocus pocus, got you focused on my rhyme. Simply easy, now I'm eating couch potatoes, I recline. No, I'm joking as I'm toking power puffs and pokey yokes. Till my town and villa filled with ganja smoke, you know the dope. Coming out my pipes, talking about the bones in my throat. With the mic, I'm casting curses every night, you know the scope. Got my spells handy. You may call it the phone, but when I'm done reciting, you'll give me the keys to the throne. Then I'll take my keys to go home. Didn't say I was done. While rush to end it all, it feels amazing to have won. I'm not planning to ball, but why not take the chance to stunt? No, I don't need it all. Can think of thing I don't want. Do I worship the sun? Or sold my soul for the tongue? Or death since I was young? Or got some voodoo done?
Welcome to this update on ultrasonic hallucinations. This particular tape I've entitled Wag the Dog. And on this particular tape, we want to deal with a lot of the things that have been taking place in the news. Now I have a 4-tape set that I'm coming out with called The Illuminoids, which is going to deal with the science of self. And it's a very interesting and very heavy information. And it deals with mind control. It deals with various types of therapies to deprogram yourself of mind control. So we are all under some form of mind control. Just the mere fact that you speak English is a way that you were trained in this particular realm. You see, so that's all a form of mind control. So we want to expand our consciousness in these particular times. And as I said on one of the ultrasonic hallucination tapes, we want to get more into is this Planet X or Nibiru, which is, this tape will deal with the update on that. And you want to kind of understand what I'm going to say as far as decoding various symbolism that goes down in these particular rituals. Many of the rituals of the Illuminati deal with mind control. Basically, the whole population of America, I would say about 2%, 2 to 3% of the population of America is not under mind control. Most people believe what they see in the newspaper or to some degree what they see on television. And whether they may say they don't believe it, but you can see it in their actions. People can say whatever they want, but you understand that you manifest these things in your particular reality. And we're going to get more into that. So this tape is termed Wag the Dog, and we're going to deal with what's been going down lately, which is lies. Lies. This is the Village Voice, and it's showing weapons on the front with Bush's face dotting the eye. So we're going to get into, as I said before, Wag the Dog, lies, because that's basically what has been going on. Basically, with this whole war situation, they have been blatantly lying to you, and we're going to deal with that. But first, let me lead you up to how this all began as far as this year's ritual. If you remember, if you live in New York, there were 3 or 4 children killed on, I believe it was New Year's Day.
Peace and blessings. Namaste. Okay, I just want to open up like that. Thank you, Caribbean Grimoire. Peace and blessings, Cosmic Chaos, Caribbean Grimoire, Brother Konami, Sister Moonfeather, Brother Moore, Cosmic Chaos. It has been, I want to do something different today. It has been 3 days, 3 years. 3 years and 3 days since the master teacher, Azzaziel Bey, departed this earthly realm. Okay. So what I wanted to do today is to just take some time out and appreciate all the occult wisdom that he shared with us for 20 plus years. You see what I'm saying? Still a lot of people still don't know who he is, but those of you who do, let's take this time to appreciate him and his works. Thank you for the birthday blessings. I see my missus speaking to everybody in the room. It's a great day. I saw Beetlejuice. If you haven't seen Beetlejuice, it is a worthy sequel. It really is. Of course, there's occult knowledge in there, but that's for you to decode. All right, let's get back into the master teacher and what he presented to us.
My name is Azzaziel, and the name of this particular tape is called Cinderella, the Neptune Time Star, and the Aquatic Ghosts. And I subtitled this particular talk also Hexacarp. And we're going to reveal that information here. There's so much information to deal with dealing with the feminine principle, but one thing I want to do right off the bat is answer a question statement that a woman had asked me, or made a statement of. She said that, why do I talk about sexuality so much? And also she's made the statement that I would be okay if I didn't talk about sex so much. Well, basically, the reason why I do these particular tapes on sexuality, first of all, the information is basically all dealing with that. We have lost that. Go look at any Bobby Hemmett tapes, Seafree Manel, Phil Valentine, or Dawood. Any of those tapes deal with that. How we have lost our consciousness, basically. Bobby Hemmett, by the way, did 2 excellent tapes on dreams in the underworld and erotic dreams, and I highly recommend that you get those tapes. You can get them from the Ark of Sophis down in Georgia. But before I go on, I do want to make these statements that Bobby is one of the great souls come back, and he basically said to the esoteric and occult community that it's okay to be yourself, you see, whereas most of us have grown, always been the way we are, and basically had to maneuver around this linear society as who we are, you see. And most people who have a level of consciousness have to do this. So give thanks to Bobby for talking the way he does, you see, opening up people's minds to not so much, a lot of great information, but not so much the information, but the ability to display himself with such information, whereas people say, oh, he's crazy, you see. He didn't care about that. He did what his soul reincarnated journey had him to do. Phil Valentine is another great scholar and very informative in the esoteric principles dealing with the woman and also the health of a woman. And he has a great book out called The Wounded Womb. Phil Valentine, who I work closely with, has a great book out. Dawood, good brother, not afraid to speak his mind. So I just want to give honor to these people. And of course, the great Sifri Benel, who is my grandmaster teacher. But the things I wanted to mention on this particular tape, I want to deal with more of the feminine principle, but I want to give you a more concrete and solid reason for even knowing this information, you see. But the question I had gotten pertaining to the feminine, why I talk so much about the feminine principle, is basically all the symbolism is dealing with that, a lot of it. But the whole war against our spirits and souls on this planet is sexuality. AIDS, condoms, white boys cloning, you see, to stay on the planet. And meanwhile, go back and look at the Blacked Out Through Whitewash, where she talks about Global 2000, which I have that actual document, Global 2000, where 2.5 billion races have to be killed off the planet Earth, and then the AIDS, fake AIDS virus was implicated at a higher level. It's always been here in the form of pharmaceutical drugs, poisons in the food, in the beer, and all this kind of stuff. That's AIDS. And we're going to get more into that. But the whole reason for these tapes, because the white boy has created a prison for souls, black souls. And that prison is in the form of the female, the goddess, who births these spirits that come from different dimensions and planets. But they're able to, by keeping you separate from your goddess, they have created a womb. The womb has become a prison, you see, by you not getting with the sisters. And that's what you have to do. Let me explain why. One of the reasons why is because the souls coming back to this planet, reincarnating, are reincarnating through the womb. Their objective is to keep you from your queen, you see, the manifestation of the gods. That's what it's all about. It always has been when it comes to him, you see. Always has been. But the female, as I said before, our sisters, we have to change the way we look at the brothers, and the brothers got to look at them differently how they been looking at the sisters, regardless of how one may act. Find the right mate, you see. Sisters, you got to hook up with the brothers, and brothers, you got to get with the goddess. You got to, you see. A lot of problems that men have, some men have, is dealing with sexuality, keeping it up, and all these kind of things. There's a lot of things that you could do to heighten your sexuality. One that I eat stingray. I'm basically, I was a vegetarian, got off the vegetables, went back to meat, and now I'm on a fruit diet, which I think is the healthiest. But stingray is on my menu because stingray was a great, and is a great, African aphrodisiac. Stingray. But for men, you have to understand something. To get with the goddess, you have to get off of certain foods, because there are foods, the poisons in the food keep you sterile. That's why they came out with Viagra. They have to make you sterile or make you limp dick in order to sell this shit. You see? In order to sell this shit to you. Pharmaceutical companies and drugs. You see? But reason why we have to get back with our sisters is that karma. Now, karma is not what you think it is. I explained a little bit about karma on the last tape, dealing with Kali Ma, or Kali, who is the goddess of sex and death, representing Lilith and various other gods and goddesses. You see.
Okay. And that is from one of his classic lectures when he's totally dark side, as you can see. That is from Cinderella or Hexakarma. He had it several. It's like that particular lecture got like 3 titles to it. He goes in further on in that one, but that's one of his classic ones. No. And then, of course, we had the one of the last lives that he did with me. Check it out.
Which this is dynamite. This is, as you can see, I got it marked a lot. This got so much information in there, you know. And so thank you. I want to thank you for putting this out, for putting all this information out. This is relevant information here. But you have a part 2 now, right?
Yeah, and these books are designed when the other generations wake up.
Got a brand new attitude, like bing bang boom on a pink balloon, like I just do what I want to do, like.
Unbelievable.
How you like your chicken? You like the thigh? You like the wing? Da 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 da. I said, sister, before you get that chicken, they send it to China. Bird flu, the origin of corona. They sent it to China first, then sent it back to the US and you buy it. And then they put, when I went to the Million Man March, the first one, the store owners who worked in Kentucky Fried and all that said, the European comes into the store and makes sure we put rat poison in the powder. That's what they told me.
Rat poison.
And if they don't do it, they get kicked out of there, they get the job, whatever. They told me that. Rat poison.
Rat poison. Woo! You was the only one that I heard ever say in one of your old lectures. You said that, I think you said, put it the way you said about chicken before, but you said something about it has fear in it or something like that.
When somebody is in a situation and they run, what do you call them? Niggas a chicken.
Yeah.
He's a chicken, he's yellow.
Yeah.
Chicken is yellow when you pull the feathers out of it.
Right.
And that's what it appears that people were programmed through Willie Lynch. And I hate to come down on chicken because it's not just chicken. It's 99% of the food that things that I used to eat and used to like to eat, I can't eat it. I can't once you get the knowledge of that, you'll be a fool to continue to mess with it. And there's still some stuff I got to get rid of. Okay, I like canary melons, and I got one now, but it's wintertime. I'm not supposed to be eating no canary melon in the winter, you know. But what else, you know what I'm saying? So you have to compromise your integrity based upon certain types of wisdom that you may foretake.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. So it's a lot of deprogramming, is what you're saying. It's still, we all have to deprogram.
According to this, in my book, I give you the details of demons. Before you can deprogram anybody, I got to deal with some people. When I get off this with you, I got to deal with quite a few people. As far as consultations, you have to get rid of their demon first. You can't deprogram nobody or counsel nobody until you get rid of their demon. Meaning that if I came to you and I said, yo, man, did you know there was aliens up there, but you believe in Jesus? the program that was put in with the Jesus, your concept of Jesus. Jesus is real, but your concept of Jesus comes up out of the subconscious mind and put up a wall, and a demon comes out of that wall and says, what are you talking about? Jesus is real. That's my savior. Da, 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 da. You have to get that out first in order to go in there and then start to deprogram.
Okay.
And that is very hard to do because it can get you killed. Demons don't play. It can get you hurt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What you mean I'm not black? You know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, so that's what would happen. And so that's why when you want to deprogram somebody, they have to be already open-minded or willing to be deprogrammed. Like anything a person says, I'll be open to it and just check it out. If it's real, then I'm with it. If not, and I've, you know, just glad I've always been that way. That's how I got to where I'm at. You know, that's how I got there. Mm-hmm. Of course, when you going through all of these things, you reject them because you don't know anything about them. But I was lucky enough to be around the correct people, as well as myself, I had to. My first book that I ever read totally through was Revelation, the Book of Revelation.
The Book of Revelation, yes.
Right, because you got to have a revelation to deal with any of this shit. So the Book of Revelation had demons coming out the sky, fire, and I mean, it just had it all in there. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is this?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. So, I went to Catholic school, and so we read the Bible pretty heavily. I remember Revelation actually scaring me as a child. Yeah,
they don't. I started teaching Revelation in the church. They got me out of there, man. Because the church is, from my understanding, because I went to Bible college, Manhattan Bible Institute, and I graduated. And I never picked up my diploma, but they still have, I can go get it anytime I want. They teach you that when people have to go to work every day and have jobs and anxiety and all of that, your job is to make sure they feel good on Sunday so that they can continue to keep the system alive the rest of the week. That's your job. We know about the Randolph and the Masons and the aliens and all that, but that's not for the masses of people for you to teach. This is what they told me. You got to teach them how to be happy. Because they're going to go home Sunday night. Oh, God, love me. I'm going to work tomorrow. You know, that's how they got to feel.
Right.
That's how the system is upheld. Okay. And there's two different systems. There's the Catholic Church system, and then there's what we call I'll go ahead and say the Black Church. The Black Church is into the fake Jesus. There's a real Jesus, then there's a fake one. But the Catholic Church, they don't really mess with Jesus. Their God is Mary.
Yep.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary, full of grace. You got to say all these Hail Marys and shit. This is praying for that statue. And yes, I grew up in Catholic school. So yeah.
So the Black Church is all about, okay, now they're mad at Jesus because he didn't come back and save them and all of that, but that's who they were. That's who their savior was. And Jesus does come back when he comes back within you. But that's who their savior was. Now, the Catholic Church know that Mary was an adept and an Essene taught by Akhenaten, who taught Jesus his shit. That's what they know. It's not Jesus was the master, it was Mary the master, who had a master, Akhenaten, and so on. And she was the highest in her class, the highest. So the Catholic Church is laughing at your ass.
Yes, sir.
You're worshiping the student who had a I can go all day long with that stuff.
It's like the exoteric and the esoteric. You know what I mean? What they teach. Go ahead.
No, Mary was actually real, physically real.
Yeah.
And she, like I said, she was part of the classes in the Great Pyramids. And she taught not only Jesus, but she taught Joseph. That's what she did. Okay. And those were and Jesus and his twin brother, they were just students. That's all they were. And they went around teaching all the sciences, and the sciences was the science of Christ, who was the Christos.
Christos.
Right. The science of the Christos, which is the crown of knowledge. And to get that crown of knowledge, you were a Christ. Okay? Because you got the crisp around you, you got the Christ around you. Okay, the crown. Okay? So Jesus was a Christ, not the Christ. It's not Jesus Christ. It's Jesus, even in the Bible it says it, Jesus the Christ, who was taught by Mary. They don't say that in the Bible. You got to get the other books and other documents and stuff like that. But she taught the science of virgin birth. How to have a baby without having sex, which is in my book.
Okay.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness of reflection.
I am, y'all. I'm in the wrong one. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Just one moment. I want to get some more of his thought I had it queued up already. One moment. Apologize for the delay. Give me a second.
That's where I learned Tong Kung Fu. All right. Jay, my queen. All right. Okay. Let me just show you this before I start. Every day in the newspaper, they show you what time the sun rises, what time it sets, shit dealing with the moon. When the moon is gonna be full, when it's gonna be a black moon, all of this shit. Why are they telling you this? Why is this in the newspaper? Hardly anyone looks at it as dealing with occult rituals. And so you could use, when you do your rituals, just look at the fucking newspapers right in there. Everything is in there. Understand that. In the daily news. Now, what we're gonna deal with, I have so much information, I'm trying to figure out where to start. And I think I'm gonna start with the New York Post. I know y'all seen this, right? I didn't have time to put it on the slide, other than another hour later. You got Bush walking with one of the Saudi I don't know his name, one of the princes of oil, high prince of oil, holding fucking hands. Holding fucking hands. And we're gonna get into this because this is dealing with imprinting you with Illuminati homosexual rituals. Now, if y'all saw, you get the tape. Shabazz have it, I have it, it's all over Harlem. Sex magic. And I talk about how the Greeks used all male rituals. We just think, based on television and what we're told, that it's some kind of homo shit. No, they are using that shit as a form of energy. They look far beyond the homo thing. They're looking more into an energy factor. Just like we look at the New World Order as taking over the whole planet. And that's what they're going to do so that they can move on to other fucking planets. Your reality is just stuck here. High Prince of Oil holding fucking hands. And what's it on the back? Right knuckle. Right knuckle. What is that doing with Freemasonry? Freemasonry. Understand that. Now I couldn't get all the newspapers I wanted on the overhead, so I had to bring a few with me. Guilty as hell. That don't look like no fucking Arab to me. You see? They got a black man's face. 911 plotter admits his evil. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck is he still doing alive then? The guy who crashed the planes into, this is coming from Walter Board. Y'all know who Walter Board is? He's the guy who wrote the big thick book called Operation Mind Control. He said to me that Timmy McVeigh was still alive and was on the fucking plane that crashed into the fucking World Trade Center. Timmy McVeigh. Same motherfucker that did the Oklahoma bombing. Talking about mind control sleepers here. But it says here, guilty as hell, y'all know what he's talking about. They're talking about, these are the Jews. Remember, you gotta violent flame these motherfuckers every time you see them. Burn their ass up. On the back, what does it say? Bad, brown. Understand that. Always look at the front. Turn around and look at the back. There's a subliminal message there. And if you don't recognize that message, it goes down into the subconscious mind. You don't recognize it, you see. So we're going to go through a lot of news and stuff. But what I want to do is start off. Dealing with.
You gotta lift them up. Whatever you want.
No, I'm just use this little space.
Now that board on the right one. You gotta lift up the other board.
Oh, this shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, use your hand. You gotta lift it up. Yeah, man. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now that's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right. Elements of ritual ceremony. Elements of ritual ceremony. We talked about this on the first tape. Hunting in the forest. And I got a lot of reading to do because there's so much information I can't memorize all this shit. Victims run naked, and first they chase them through the forest. And what they do is they hang them, when they catch them, they hang them from a tree, slit the throat, and fucking drink the blood, and they actually eat the sexual organs. These are Illuminati rituals. Sorry to start off so hard. I got so much information dealing with, and I want to get past this.
Woo!
That's number one. Number two, these are the elements of ritual ceremony. I'm going to abbreviate that. Invoking entities to possess living bodies. And we talked about that. We talked about how they use a female in the center of the six-pointed star and put a male on each side and rotate by raping the female, projecting their thoughts into the vortex. Now, how does that work? Why does that work? If the female is a vortex, how can they capture an entity and project it? Well, what happens to your sperm when it enters the vagina? It's a tiny little sperm that enters into the vagina, and what comes out? A fucking human being. So we're talking about thoughts that are projected into the vagina. And in electricity, they have something called a step-up transformer, which takes minute amounts of energy, increase the value of it, and project it out. That's what females do. And that's what they're doing in the Illuminati ritual. But it's actually extremely, way more heavy than what I'm showing you. We're going to get to it. But that's the basis of it, the basics. Of course, they have hundreds of rituals. I couldn't possibly give all of them to you. That's one of them. So we're talking about the elements of the ceremony, invoking entities. Usually, the fathers of the victim are there, usually in masonry. I think about 2 years ago, they had a guy that was in a Masonic temple and shot one of the members, and the father was present. Usually in the military, that's what happens with a kino. 4, the use of ancient that says ancient guttural or satanic language in the ritual, which later on English will be that satanic language. English. That's why all the different languages are merged together in English, and people, as a matter of fact, in America. But if you go to your bookstore, they got fucking books on fucking Klingon. You can buy a book on fucking Klingon. So you go on the internet. Go on the internet and fucking type in Klingon language. They got that shit. What do you think that is? That's all ancient rituals that they perform on Star Trek. Angelic script and all these various writings and stuff like that. All those kind of languages that you see, Ferengi and all this kind of shit. They got fucking volumes of books on it. Those are ancient languages that are used in ritual ceremony. And triggers for programmed sleepers. Death and resurrection. Which is, we're going to talk deeply about it later on, which is when a baby is born with an entity in it, they have to kill a person at the same time. That's called a death and resurrection ceremony. Now, it all varies depending on which family is doing the ritual. Each family in the Illuminati is assigned a moon to work under.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Getting heavy there. He goes in on the entire lecture. That one is called Sexuality After Death. Okay. Sexuality After Death.
Who was John Indian, had Arawak blood, and he was a black man. And when we went to Salem, Massachusetts, we went to the Witch Museum. And in the museum, they give a recorded lecture as they show you these different statuettes, different images of Johnny the Tituba and all the Europeans that were killed because of what they said, what Tituba had said. And her friend Mary Black, another black woman, and when these white children would go in the woods and they would eat these particular mushrooms. Some of the kids were real young. They were the first ones to actually get sick from the mushrooms was Samuel Paris, who was her slave master, who brought her from Haiti to Boston. His children were sickly already, including his wife, and they got sicker when they started eating these mushrooms. And what happened was they would go into convulsions and have fits. So Tituba devised these so-called witch cakes, which was made out of the own child's urine. It was urine therapy. And she was taught by Mama Yaya in Haiti, who was a voodoo queen, who dealt with healing people, the sicknesses of people in the various tribes or plantations around the area. And taught her the science of herbs and various other things. And even conjuring the spirits of the dead, which was ancestral energy, which was only another form of herself. So she made these particular witch cakes. And Samuel Paris, who later became the minister of that town, based on the teachings of Cotton Mather, who was a strict, mundane Christian. Many of the doctrines of the church today Christian church are based upon this guy, Cotton Mather. But he allowed Tituba, as a voodoo or as a so-called witch, to use the witch cakes to heal the daughters. But the witch cakes seem to have not worked because they continued to eat the mushrooms in the woods. You see, they didn't stop. They kept eating them, so the children stayed sick. So then they started to blame Tituba because Tituba would tell them stories of things that happened in Haiti. She would allegorize various things that took place in her life. She would allegorize them in fairy tales, which is Moorish science, Moriscos, you see. And so what they did was the little white children began to blame her for saying they put a curse on her. It caused those sicknesses upon her. So they went and got her and a couple of other witches or slaves who had these meetings at night. When they had their own time, they had meetings at night. Mary Black and some of the other slave women and servants would have these meetings and they would converse with each other, talk about what went on during the day and the evil that these preachers would do in the house and to them and call themselves ministers. This is the foundation of Christianity in America. Because Salem was the first town in America naming itself after a place in the Bible. Salem, Massachusetts. Salem took its name from the Bible. The first place in America. So the foundation of Christianity is based on these evil, wicked, so-called preachers. Alcoholics. John Indian said they were alcoholics, they were homosexuals, they were all kind of things. This is what John Indian stated. There's a book called Black Witch, I Tituba, the Black Witch of Salem. And the witch cakes didn't work. So they persecuted her, took her to court, and was going to hang her. What she did was, when she began to testify, she understood the mentality of these so-called white preachers. So what she did, she gave them what they wanted. They were looking for a demon, a devil, and witches and whatnot. So all she did was describe, based on the teachings of Mama Yaya and how to tell allegory stories, more realistic principles. She told the story of her her enslavement and her various dealings with the different white masters and the dealings of her friends who saw her at night at different meetings would tell these particular stories. She told all that in court, even talking about her master, Samuel Paris, describing the devil as he looked. Tall, white skin, wearing all black, doing these evil things. She was describing her slave master. And the townspeople got together and went on a witch hunt looking for this people. Now, normally, the testimony of slaves wouldn't hold any weight when it was implicated upon a rich white person, but not in this case. Everything she said, she talked about all the rich white people who treated those servants and slaves evil. She allegorized all that in the story and then began to name the names. She began to name the enemies of her friends, or coven of witches. And so what happened? The legislation in Salem at that particular time began to hang their own people based on what Tituba was telling them. She caused, based on their own actions against her, she caused these slave masters to not only persecute themselves, but persecute other rich people in other towns in Boston. You see, Tituba. You see. And after all is said and done, she lived. You see, she lived. Meanwhile, 30, 40, about 39 of these rich white people were killed. You see, were killed.
Deep, right? I never knew any of that. I never knew who Tituba was until Azzaziel Bey brought out that information. I did my research. I read I Tituba just as he said it was. One second there. I got time for one more, I think. I hope y'all are enjoying these dynamite lessons that's on his older lectures. You can't really find these anywhere, to be quite honest.
That's my thing about peace. One of the first things I want to say is that we are all programmed. I am under mind control and program. You can ask my queen all about that shit. That's right. And if anybody tell you they're not, they're lying. If I still need to tell you that I wasn't under mind control, that's bullshit. We are all programmed generally. Some of us are programmed specifically. That means that they were chosen out of a group of people and specifically programmed. We are generally programmed because what? We got a 9 to 5. We got a pay, whatever. What kind of car we want. All these things are put into your head in this society. As Joe Cooper said, when you feel physical reality and look at it as only physical reality, you are only experiencing 7/10 of your energy, of reality. 7/10. Understand that? That means that if a person sees a car and that's all he sees, he doesn't see anything beyond that, of physical reality, something solid, because everything is made up out of light particles. And if you don't understand that, then you are mentally retarded. Mentally retarded. That means you're functioning less than 7/10 of reality. So the ceremony takes place. I'm going to start with, now, I got to put a warning on this tape because a lot of the information I'm going to give you is very graphic. It could be very horrible to some people. But these are the things they do to program people. And they have people programmed in every walk of life. Now, I always start off lectures or end the lecture with some kind of ritual that we must do. That's the whole reason for me calling for a lecture on 9/11. That's why you are the elite sitting here. Everybody else is walking around, reading the papers, oh, they should kill those people, or Ben Laden or some shit like that. But you are here gaining energy, and I'm going to show you today how to increase your psychic powers. Something solid that you can do yourself. Understand that. Psychic energy 911. Here's the ritual I want you to perform tonight. When you leave here, you're going to have your queen do a ritual dance in any form she feels to do. She's going to dance for you to whatever music she chooses. And you're going to give her, afterwards, as a reward, a vaginal massage. Woo! What am I talking about? There's a book by Wilhelm Reich called The Function of the Orgasm. In Nazi Germany, they found out that black people have a certain energy in a pre-orgasmic state. Not orgasmic, but pre-orgasmic state, known as orgon energy or organic energy. Whereas we absorb everything in nature, sky, grass, trees, we absorb all that energy in the act of pre-orgasmic state. There was a man named Thurman coming out of Russia who was taught by Alexander Pushkin, who was a black man. Thurman devised a machine named after him called the Thurman, wherein the energy used, you wouldn't have to touch this machine, it would play music. And the energy used in the Thurman was based on energy, based on the dancing of the black woman. The table is right on the table, and they say it on the table. And devised a way to see in your house in the 30s on a television screen, and you didn't have a TV, and TVs didn't exist at that time. Get the table over there on my table, Thurman. He married this black woman because she was a dancer, and he was using this machine to channel her dance energies. This is the white boy talking, he's showing it. Sister is breaking it down on the table. Psychic energy. Now, so we're going to perform this ritual tonight when we leave here. You're going to have your queen do a sexual energy, organic energy dance ritual. And you're going to reward her with a vaginal massage. Now, your brother said, no, he's going to be something to take from us. Vaginal massage. All right. Let's get into the lecture.
And that wasn't even the lecture yet. He just actually really just started the lecture. You know what I'm saying? He goes deep in his lectures, his older lectures. You know what I'm saying? So he went in heavy in on sexuality as well as, you know, eroticism. See what I'm saying? And mind control programming. He went in those two subjects, he went heavy in. Okay. I have some on my Patreon. I think Serious Times Media has some, but Azzaziel Bey left a whole bevy of esoteric knowledge, galactic knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So again, 3 years, 3 days since he ascended. Rise in power to the master teacher, Azzaziel Bey. I just wanted to acknowledge him. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, he was a master teacher of the highest degree. You know what I mean? It's crazy how much information is in his lectures. It's just beyond crazy. Okay. You have to be ready, mentally ready to receive his information because it sounds blunt, hits you right in the face, and it sounds far off. But the man knew what he was talking about. And only people who are at a certain level actually get what he's saying. See what I'm saying? Thanks for joining me today. You know what I mean? Hopefully you got something from this. You know, I may do it again, but since it was 3 years and 3 days since the master teachers left us, I figured let me acknowledge him. And 33 is a master number, by the way. Let me show the audience what this man really, really was about. Okay. Thursday, this coming Thursday, I'm probably going to be doing the lecture or the live. I say lecture like I'm a master teacher. I'm probably going to be doing the live a little early, like 30 to 40 minutes early, because I have something else I need to get to. I want to thank all of y'all for joining me today. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who joined Sex Magic 101, yes, Technique Twin, Caribbean Grimoire, Cosmic Chaos, the Mooniverse, the Doctor, Konami, Brother Konami, who else? Deja Divine Jewel, no, all of y'all, My Cherie, Eon El Tempo, Legacy Sigma, Katrina. Again, I just really, really wanted to acknowledge that man. He never got the props that he deserved. So it is my honor to bring some of his teachings to you. I will see y'all next time on Thursday. Again, I'm going to be about 30 to 40 minutes earlier. So it's going to be about, I want to say 3:20, 3:30 my time, the Central Standard Time. Okay. Giving homage to the master teacher, the occultist, Azzaziel Bey. I am the incredible, the diabolical, the one and only Magic Lacroix. I'll see y'all next time. Namaste.